When we started our publishing business in November of 2025, I didn't know what to expect, but our offer just hit $110,000 in April. And now we're working to build a repeatable system to make this consistent. What I'm doing with this channel, if you're here, is documenting this product of or process of scaling this offer up. It's going to be raw, it's going to be fairly unedited to get to $100,000 plus per month. The goal of building the business up to personally taking home 100K per month in profit. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Zach Hanson, the founder of the Productized Coach. Previously done over the past few years, multiple seven figures in front end sales, flipping strangers into buyers for myself and clients. We've flipped over about 30 to 40,000 plus strangers into buyers from paid ads. And basically what I realized is that in 2022, 2023, I was basically the bottleneck. I was doing everything myself. And what I actually did is in 2024, I started the Productized Coach, which was framed about building a lean, green, productized coaching business, which is a cash flowing asset versus a business with huge amounts of team, basically run the thing with a few VAs. And in 2025, I partnered with Jack, my business partner, and said, hey, let's start scaling some offers because I was so tired of just being the guru talking about this stuff. And so I wanted to get my hands really dirty and really start scaling ads and launching new offers. And we started publishing people and actually published our previous past client. And what that actually, again, resulted in is going from an idea of a new frame of a new offer to over $105,000 in sale. And the big thing is in this video, I want to break down exactly what we did to get there and just go step by step through the process so that you can either repeat this process for yourself, or if you're starting a brand new business, or if you're looking at doing this for another client or a partner, this is a really great frame to take. Okay. So I'm going to go over the whiteboard here and let's dive in. So the biggest thing, I think one of the smartest things we did was instead of just trying to basically we go directly with the same offer the client had, you always want to create something new. And I'm just going to put new with big freaking letters here in my ugly ass writing because new is always the big thing that will sell in any market. And this doesn't mean like finding a complete blue ocean. What this typically means, because honestly, I don't think in information products, like there's a blue ocean anymore. You might find some new like AI opportunity or something like that. But oftentimes those don't last and you have to get really lucky to find them. Instead, what I like to do is actually create new. And the way to typically create new is to look at a market that has had very little innovation and then add some innovation by just putting a slight spin on what's out there. And so what we actually did to start this, to get validation, this person that we were working with, our partner in this, who's like the face of this brand, already had an audience. He already had a little bit of rapport in the space, like people knew him. And so what we actually did is we did exactly what Jason Fladlin instructed us to do. Shout out to Jason Fladlin. He had a great interview with Ryan Clogg on this. And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, this is exactly what we need to do. So we actually went to our email list with literally a simple Google Doc. I'll just put it like our little doc here, right? With a 10K offer. Okay. And this was a one-on-one offer of validating this new thing where our partner is going to work closely with these people one-on-one, go above and beyond and make sure they get results. And gosh, he has completely over delivered. So we did 10K to an app. I'll just put A to a call. And I don't know how to draw phones. So I'll put a call, right? And then close, right? And so that was our first launch, and we did almost $60,000 doing this. I think it was a little bit less. I think it was like 40 or 50 because there was a few payment plans, but like overall total cash collected from those people was about $60,000. And so the big reason we started with this high price point is because A, this person already had such a proven track record of doing this new offer that we were putting down that he was going to take time to work with these people closely, right? He did. He went absolutely above and beyond to continue working with these people. They got lifetime access to everything. And so we started here. You always want to start the highest because this is the nice thing, right? Is that when you start here, you can then come down later and then you can turn. And this is exactly what we did. We launched a 3K offer, right? And here's the best part. And this is what I love about what Jason said is that because we were launching this, it was so easy for us to come and say, look at these people that paid us $10,000 for this thing in a one-on-one experience. Guess what? We're launching the beta version of the group program, which means you can get more access, more time than anyone else. And guess what? You're not going to have to pay what those people pay. You can just pay 3K. And I think this is the reason is if you can launch at the highest price point possible, if you're going to do intimate one-on-one work with someone, because if you can get them the result in one-on-one, and then you can basically go down to this point, it works really well. This is great if you already have audience or you already have an existing play and you want to do this. So then what we did is we did a 3K offer. This sold out really well. I think we did 10 spots with a Google Doc, literally Google Doc directly to a checkout page, emails, no webinar, nothing like that. Did 30 grand, right? It was great. And then what really started changing things is then in January, this is where we actually got to work and we built a micro offer. And so what a micro offer is, in my opinion, is just a low cost, low ticket offer. And this is typically a great impulse buy. I've been running these so long and I love doing this. It's honestly the best play with paid traffic. I never run ads to anything free. We launched our micro offer in January and this thing took off like a freaking rocket. I think the first month we did 20K with this. And then in February, we did another, I think we let this run in January. And then in February, we did another webinar. And honestly, we butchered, if I do a month, come down here, guys. This is why I love whiteboards. We have January, February, we have March, we have April, right? So we did our first ever webinar here. Let's see if I can grab a little, you know what, we're just gonna draw for time, okay? So we did our first webinar here, okay? And this was, while we were running ads, we were consistently running ads, we were building our buyers list, building the audience, and this thing honestly was so terrible. And I think this is a really important lesson, is just to launch fast, because this webinar that we did, I used AI a lot to put it together. Huge mistake, absolutely horrific mistake. Maybe now it's a little bit easier because the Claude models are better and this was like Opus 4.5, right? So it was okay, but it still jumbled a lot up because the context was so big. And I went through trying to script the entire thing. And as a result, what happened is we were literally on here and our partner was presenting it and he was going so slow. We were literally frantically deleting slides as we got there, but we still did a $20,000 launch, right? Which was awesome. The big problem is, and so this month was like 40, I think this month was like 30-ish, somewhere in there, like 40K. And then the big problem with this though was this offer just wasn't good. It was like, we basically originally said to our partner, hey, let's split this, let's split roles. You're going to handle product, we're going to handle marketing. Honestly, that was going forward. If you're going to work with somebody, like you need to take care of everything. You need to be in total charge. So that's what we basically did. I went in and I looked at all the programs and I said, I'm actually going to build a SaaS platform on top of this. So I learned Claude Code. I went through this whole building process. We actually built like a SaaS platform that now every second testimonial that we get is, oh, I use the tool or I use this tool. And it just goes to show the importance of it and having this in your ecosystem. But this is where we then made our ads took off. We made a new webinar. And what we ended up doing is literally having basically this SaaS platform was like a huge selling point of the webinar. And as a result, this month with front end and back end combined, I'm going to just see if I can move this over. Let's see what I can do here. Do some Canva magic. Look at I love my M's, right? Isn't that great? Here we go. So we're going to redraw March. So with March, so this January, February, March, we did 105K in sales. We did about 80K profit. Oh gosh, I need to get better at writing better on whiteboards, right? But the big reason why is we did a better webinar. Oh my goodness, we were up day and night working on this. I think I was up till 11 or 12 o'clock the night before working on this thing. And then the next morning I was up literally making changes up to pretty much 10 minutes before the webinar. We're lucky the launch went so well. And then this month was a little bit lower. I think it was like 70. I'm not exactly sure on the profit, but the big reason why is because we tested adding a lower payment option. So this was really interesting. So here on this month, we basically had all full pays because we had a 3K offer. And then it was like $1,300 or $1,400 for split pay for 3 months. So the split pay was way higher. Every single person here actually full paid except for 2. In this one, we had a way more attractive split pay, and 80 to 90% of the people split pay. And so that goes to show, like, if you're wanting to optimize for cash collection, make your split pay way, way higher. So the frame of what we're doing here is literally just to scale this onward. We're now in May over here, right? And so right now, this month, I think we're at like 15K so far, and just on the front end, and we're spending about 15 to 1800 per day on ads. Canadian dollars for context, so a little less than like 12, 1300. And the big thing we're just working to do is just double the budget so that we can just flood this with buyers. And then when we do another webinar, it just cranks, right? And that's the big thing we're working on right now. So my goal with this channel is to just basically document what the heck I'm doing here. I'm going to show you all different things on like how we're launching these offers. I'll dive into tactics, I'll dive into principles and all that stuff. But this is really like my goal of doing these channels. This channel is just so to do two things. So one, to meet great people, and two, to just document the entire process so that if I'm looking back in 10 years or my kids are looking back in 10 years, my girls are watching, shout out to my girls. They're the love of my world and everything I do is for them. And I can come here and say, check this out. This is what we were doing 5 years ago. Pretty wild how things have changed because we're only going up from here. If you want to subscribe, love to have you along for the journey. But otherwise, drop questions below. I'm going to make sure I'm pretty terrible at notifications. My phone's off all the time. I do my best to reply to comments. So you got questions or anything like that, drop them below because those all become future video ideas for me to just create content around. All right. So catch you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers.